Well, hello there. I'm Coach Dana Spencer, and today, from my guide, from my book, A Beginner's Guide to Financial Freedom Through Real Estate, we are going to be talking about finding a good deal. So, we're in chapter number 7, and we're talking about finding a good deal. So, there's two real ways to find a deal. So, there's either on market deals or off market deals. So, when we say on market, those are properties that have been listed with a real estate agent and they are available online via the multiple listing service or the MLS. So in order to get access to those properties right away, you will need to have a real estate agent and they can have access to the properties. So the MLS does feed to realtor.com so you can see the properties, but you can imagine there may be a little bit of a delay with that, and having a real estate agent obviously is going to, number one, help you to find properties even faster, as the buyer. It doesn't cost you anything to have a real estate agent, and you want an agent to represent you as the buyer. The contract is with the seller. So the seller pays for the entire commission, and that's where the contract is. So if I'm a real estate agent and I have a listing agreement with the seller, then they will pay, let's say, for example, 6% commission. Typically, 3% commission for the seller's real estate agent and 3% commission for the buyer's real estate agent. If, as a buyer, you don't have an agent, then that seller's agent just gets the entire 6%. So you definitely want to have somebody that represents you because it's no cost to you. So that was extra. So that's on market deals. Now, for off market deals, that is a little bit tricky. And that would be you as the buyer finding a seller. So, how do you find sellers? How do you find people that want to sell their property? Well, there's a couple of different ways. I have a couple of ways that I've listed in the book as well. One of the strategies that I like to look for deals, I call it walking for wealth. You may have heard the term driving for dollars. I like to walk for wealth. So that's me walking through the neighborhood. And when you walk around your neighborhood on a regular basis, then you get to look at some of the houses that, okay, that grass is getting a little bit high. Okay, they haven't cut the landscaping is overgrown. Those are some signs for you to think that maybe that seller would be motivated to get rid of the property. Maybe that property is a burden to them. So you definitely, and there are ways that you can go to the PVA, the property valuation assessment, in order to find out the owner of the property, and then you can contact them directly. So walking for wealth is a way to find a property that is off market, as well as mailing to the prospect. So once you identify this particular property that you're interested in that looks like needs a little bit of tender loving care, then you can find the owner and then reach out, send them a postcard, send them a letter like, hey, I'm a new investor. Well, don't say you're a new investor. Hey, I'm an investor in the area and was just curious if you were interested in selling your property. Something very, very simple. And you have to continue to reach out to people on a regular basis. It's not going to be the situation where you're going to send them one letter and then they'll be ready to sell their property unless you hit the jackpot. Typically, that's just not the way it happens. Another way that I have identified as to how to find property or sellers that are wanting to sell their property is social media blast. You can put on social media and let your friends and your family know what you're doing. Like, I'm interested in buying property in XYZ area. Do you know anybody who's interested in selling? People who are getting a divorce, people who want to have a bigger house because they have a couple more children, even people who have lost a loved one. I mean, be very, very sensitive with that, but depending on, things change and people want to sell their property. Right now, a lot of people are losing their jobs. People might be in a position where they want to sell the property to you to get out from under it so they don't go into foreclosure. So many opportunities right now to get an off market deal. What I would recommend though is if you do decide to go the off market deal route, make sure you have a real estate attorney make sure you get a title search on the property. So make sure you run title, have that real estate attorney to run the title, because what you don't want to do is have a conversation directly with the seller and the seller is hiding some things, and you don't want to get in that situation. So yet another reason why you want someone to coach you through the process. That's why I would highly recommend to go ahead and have a real estate agent and buy a property that's on the market. But since there's the inventory on the MLS is very low right now, and so having to go directly to the seller is definitely an option, but just make sure that you have those strategies in place to make sure that you don't get a bad deal. Because if you don't run the title and you buy the property and there are liens on the property, then that could mean that those liens will transfer over to you, and you don't want that. So definitely get a real estate attorney, definitely get the professionals involved if you do decide to go that route. But on market or off market deals are a great way to get started with investing in real estate. So if you're like me, I am ready to go. Head on over to bookdanaspencer.com, bookdanaspencer.com. Grab you 15 minutes with me so we can create a strategy for you to get started investing in real estate so that you can be on your way to financial freedom. You can be on your way to putting Junior on an AAU team, or going on vacation, or doing whatever, or just having some freedom of maybe real estate is something that you want to do, full time. Just having options. I want you to have options. I don't want you to have to work that job 40 hours a week if that's not what you want to do. So I definitely want you to realize that you have options with real estate. So book danaspencer.com. Head on over there, grab you 15 minutes so that we can talk strategy for you to get you some passive income that you deserve. Until next time.